Hey guys, it's Callus back with more Pokemon Perfect Tour action. I love casting these deep stages of the Pokemon Perfect ADV tournaments, and here we are doing exactly that. This is the very first ADV Open on Pokemon Perfect in 2021. There's going to be 7 of them in all, so there's plenty of time for you guys to jump in and get involved with that. I'll have a link in the description to the Pokemon Perfect Discord server, as well as to my own personal Discord server. If you want to get involved, it's a great time to do it. We're still very early on in the season. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to play. As far as this specific pairing, I am very excited for this match. I haven't watched the games yet, but I very much am looking forward to doing so. This may not be as exciting to you as it is to me, but let me clue you guys in. The player on the bottom, Monthly Girls, is an alt. That's Felix. He's also known as Gablubla Random. I don't know how to pronounce the first part of the name, but he's a German player. He was in Snake. He's having a very good SPL run right now, and all the Germans are very, very high on this player. Have a very high opinion of him, think he's the next big thing, and so far from his performance in Snake, his performance in SPL, feedback from his teammates, it's looking like they might be right. This guy seems really, really good, very much a player to watch going forward, might be the next superstar coming out of Germany, and as it turns out, he's pretty damn good at ADV as well. On the other hand, Johnnyg2 has been around actually for quite a while, believe it or not. He's just not very well known outside of the ADV community, and I think only people who are really, really in tune with the ADV community understand just how good this player is. This is somebody who's good enough to be an SPL starter, plain and simple, underrated, underappreciated, and scary good at the game. It would not be surprising to me whatsoever if either of these guys were involved, or both of these guys were involved in one way or another with the upcoming, very upcoming, several months away, Callus Invitational 5. It's just a huge pairing. It's for the semifinals of the first Open. After this, it's going to be it hasn't played yet, but it's going to be Mikmer against Roro for the other semifinal. So basically, no matter how it goes, we're going to have a really good final. It's 4 very good players still remaining in this tournament. But let's do one thing at a time. This is a best of 3 set between Felix and Johnnyg. These guys are both really good. I know they might not be the biggest names, but you're going to have to trust me on this. This is a modern ADV battle, to be sure. 2 top players, and here is game 1 in their best of 3. Felix, like I said, is on the alt. Monthly Girls on the bottom. Johnnyg on the top. Salamence with the advantage over the lead Hariyama. Looking like either a CB set with Fire Blast, which is kind of old school, or more likely a mixed men's. Gets an immediate burn on Kuhn, and man, hacks right out the gate for Johnnyg. And then an immediate psychic on the unfortunate Hariyama switch. That was obviously a prediction. Didn't work out. Immediate crit, immediate KO, and Johnny right out the gate, big lead. He does miss a Toxic here, but who cares? He obviously got the hacks that mattered, which is the Psychic on the Hariyama critting. So, big advantage with very little penalty. And the burn on the Kuhn, if it's a non-rest Kuhn, that's going to matter too. So, Johnny getting very fortunate in the early stages of this game. Felix already on the back foot. Jirachi here with the Leech Seed is going to be limited in what it can do. It is certainly not going to break a Blissey when under the pressure of the Leech Seed, despite the Calm Mind boosts. And, well, he's going to get stubborn. Felix is going to go for Wish and try it anyway, but I can't imagine this is going to really go anywhere. Psychic and S-Toss respectively. Now the Wish is going to kick in. There is no Sand in play, so the Blissey is that much more bulky. Yeah, and Felix is going to give it up. I can't imagine continuing with this would have been the way to go. Some switches for both guys. We end up with the Celebi on the Rachi again. There's the Leech Seed and the Calm Mind, respectively. Celebi seems to be the go-to check for the Jirachi, and then he combines that, of course, with the Blissey. He's gone to the Starmie a couple times. We might be looking at a T-Wave star here, trying to land that on the Rachi, but Felix has not allowed that. Celebi on Celebi, obviously Leech Seed blanks on both of them. There's a Leech Seed miss. However, it is an over-prediction Dragon Claw instead of a Fire Blast, and now the second attempt at Leech Seed is going to connect, and it's going to get him out of the way. So it's confirmed to be a mixed men's from Johnnyg. Now Celebi combining up for Johnny, and Coon is also combining up. That's the first time it's done anything other than get burnt, so we don't know what it's trying to do. There's a Giga Drain and a Roar. Typically, Roar Coon is, in fact, Rest Coon, so maybe he can get rid of that burn. Johnny going to take the opportunity on a predicted rest to go to Medicham, and he's correct on that prediction. He's now going to have an opportunity to do big damage. He's going to go Focus Punch, and that is going to hit the fighting, resisting, and intimidating Salamence for only 23%. Presumably that is a non-choice band Medicham, but as of now, neither player has brought Sand, so we don't actually know. Celebi on Celebi, full para kicking in, Natural Cure, here's Rachi, and Combine for Johnny. This game could end up dragging. Neither player has Sand, neither player has Spikes. This definitely could end up being a longer game. Combine number 2 and a Wish, respectively. Johnny here potentially with a big threat with the Celebi, but he sees it differently. He gets out of the way, plays it safe. Blissey comes in here to deal with the Rachi yet again. And yes, it has those boosts, but it's the same situation as before. With the Leech Seed, it will not break the Blissey. And we see here that he gives up on it. Salamence comes in, that gets nailed with Toxic on the way in. That's very poor for Felix. Obviously, Mence does not want to be poisoned, and it's all for naught because he gets out of the way. Johnny went for Toxic again. That blanked on the Sleeping Coon. He kills the Sleep Turn. That's the first one that he's killed off, but Medicham again is gonna go for Focus Punch. There is nothing preventing him from doing this. 23%, not a big deal, but the Mence is still poisoned. And Blissey comes in. It is a Wish Mence, so it is on the bulky side, but the Toxic is still very crippling. Now, believe it or not, Salamence actually does learn Refresh. It basically never carries it, but it does have that. So in theory, he can get rid of the poison with that, but I really doubt that he has that. And Medicham out of the way of the opposing Celebi, even though it very well may, probably does have Shadow Ball. Doesn't go for it there. However, Felix has Heal Bell on his Celebi, so that is going to remove the Toxic from the Mence, and it's going to wake the Coon up as well. So status problems are gone for now. As I say that, another one comes down, but it is on Celebi, so now that's gone too via the Natural Cure. And here is the Seismic Toss. Like I said, no Sand, so bulky things extra bulky. That certainly includes this Coon. That is going to be extra difficult to deal with when there is no Sand and no Spikes going on. But Johnny continues to fight the good fight and throw Seismic Tosses at it. The Coon does have a boost, and he's going to go for the 1 turn early rest just to be uber safe and to maybe throw Johnny off. There is killing a Sleep Turn and another Seismic Toss. Remember, these are costing 2 PP every time because of pressure, and there is Sleep Turn number 2 that gets killed. Coon is due to wake up. It does exactly that. Surf aimed at the Medicham. That makes sense to me. Can't let it stay in and Focus Punch for free. And now Celebi comes in to check it, and there is the Leech Seed. Like I said before, this very well may end up being a longer game. The only reason we have any knockout at all is because of an early critical hit. But there are no Spikes, there is no Sand, there are multiple Recover slash Wishmon on both sides. And yeah, now the last poke is confirmed. It is not Tyranitar, it is a Claydol that gets blown up on. That might have been a premature boom there for Johnny. I think he was trying to disguise it and catch the Coon, which is why he did it immediately. He was trying to get the Coon to come in on a Meteor Mash and just blow up because the Coon is definitely the biggest threat to Johnny, but instead he ends up trading with a Claydol that has very little purpose in this matchup, to be frank. The Rock Resist does not matter. No Arrow, no T-Tower, no Spikes for Johnny. I think that Claydol had very little value, so I think that was a good trade for Felix, and of course a bad trade for Johnny that the 100% Metagross ended up trading with a poke that really was bad in this matchup, I would say. But the good news is it moves the game forward. So that leaves us in a 5-4 situation. Johnny, of course, still ahead. He was already ahead and they traded evenly, so obviously that's not going to change the fact that he's ahead. And we are continuing loops that we've already seen earlier in the game. For example, the Rachi begins to boost up, the Celebi throws a Leech Seed on it, and then in comes Bliss. The biggest issue for Johnny appears to be the Coon. You would think between Celebi and Blissey that his team is reasonably set up against Coon, but you're seeing the flaw in that now. The Leech Seed has limited PP, and pressure is making the seeds all that much more skimpy and valuable, and then the Blissey can certainly wall the Coon, but it does not beat the Coon. It does not have something like Calm Mind Thunderbolt. It does not have Snatch. It does not have something that actually defeats the Coon. I guess it could have Snatch. We haven't actually seen. We know that obviously it's going to have Soft Boiled, so there is still one move remaining. You would think that it's Ice Beam or Wish, but probably Ice Beam, but I guess it could be Snatch. That would be a way to beat the Coon. He could land the Toxic, and then he could just Snatch on the crucial rest turn and kill the Coon that way, but it's not clear that he has that. I kind of think he doesn't have that. Let's not downplay this turn. There's a critical hit and a full para, so more bad luck for Felix, but the biggest issue, like I said, is still the Coon. Johnny is ahead right now, and certainly the Medicham can punish the Coon once it goes to sleep. But even with that, he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get the Medicham in on the wrong time, have Felix predict that, get him with Surf, and then if the Medicham comes in too late, like right here, it just doesn't do enough. Here's the Focus Punch. Well, Salamence comes in anyway. Felix, very careful with his Coon, does not want to risk a critical hit Focus Punch or something along those lines. And there's the Flamethrower. That is the third move shown. We still don't know the last move on the Mence. Probably just Dragon Claw, but it could be Brick Break. Interesting that Mence switches into Mence. It also could just be Toxic. That's very common on Wish Mence. Dragon Claw coming down that gets protected against. Now Coon switches in. Coon is very safe as in general against this kind of Salamence. The best thing it could have is HP Grass, which is not that big a deal, and it does even less after Calm Mind, but nevertheless there is a critical hit opportunity that Johnny did not get, but he gets the Medicham in now at the right time. That's going to force the Coon immediately out. This time he predicts the Salamence and he goes for Rock Slide here. Maybe that is a Choice Bander after all. We still have not been able to confirm that. But like I said, this game going long. We're at 87 turns now. We got another knockout as Celebi comes in, gets Fire Blasted away. Felix may, whether intentionally or not, be going down to Last Poke Coon at this point. He's running out of answers for the Medicham. Focus Punch 26% on the Mence. It all adds up eventually, and he's not banded. He switches up to Rock Slide, goes for the flinch and gets it. Johnny's gotten multiple pieces of favorable, relevant hacks this game, and it's starting to really bite Felix here. He has to switch out, and he does. Coon relatively safe with the Intimidate, but Focus Punch still coming. There's always the possibility of a crit, and it still is going to do 41% despite the Intimidate. Coon is going to wake, Surf there to do something to the Medicham, but it finds Celebi instead. He's down to just 7 Leech Seeds, even less actually, after you take pressure in mind. So he's going to be very low on Leech Seeds, but he's obligated to go for one there, and he does. Yeah, Coon is going to be Felix's best bet here as we approach turn 100. A grindy, spikeless, sandless game. Uncommon in ADV, but a thing, as you can see. Between the Rachi and the Coon, Felix does have a great ability to force out Leech Seeds from Johnny, and they will eventually run out. We end up with Mence on Mence here. The Mence a real threat for Johnny that Felix hasn't had a fantastic answer for throughout the game. We haven't actually seen HP Grass, but you've got to think that he has it. Rachi sneaks in here on a Dragon Claw. That's fine and well, but we know he has Fire Blast. Coon tries to come in on Fire Blast. He does not. He finds Dragon Claw. And now Medicham comes in on what he thinks will be a rest turn. And that is absolutely correct for Johnny. Pushing the issue here with Focus Punch. Yes, Intimidate comes off. But Salamence is one Rock Slide or Focus Punch from death here. He protects for lefties because why not? But that doesn't solve the problem. The faster Medicham pressuring him with Rock Slide. Focus Punch going to be good enough, and Mence goes down. That leaves Johnny with only 2 pokes, and surprisingly, he opts not to. Felix opts not to play it out. I would have milked it there with my Coon or with my Rachi. Remember, there is the Intimidate off on the Medicham, so maybe the Coon could have gotten the job done here. But Felix decides it's time to pack it in. It takes over 100 turns, but Johnny fairly convincingly, granted, with a good amount of hacks in his favor, does take down Game 1. But it's a best of 3 for a reason, so we are going to, of course, go to a Game 2 and potentially a Game 3, and we're going to just do it all in one video to avoid any kind of spoilers, so we are going to jump straight into Game 2. And here that is. It is once again Felix on the alt, Monthly Girls on the bottom, and Johnnyg on the top. Swampert lead, a little unusual for Felix, but that's going to prompt out the T-Tower lead for Johnnyg. Milo, an extremely safe answer to basically any variant of Swampert other than maybe Endeavor, is going to come in. Swampert gets out of the way, Toxic landing on Bliss, and it's a Bliss for Johnny as well. So both players bringing Blissey in this game too. Toxic putting a little bit of clock on Felix's Bliss. Out of the way that goes. Here's Meta, and that's going to be met with an immediate seismic toss, and we are going to discover that it does have leftovers, so we're not looking at a bander here. Meteor Mash comes down on Fori, takes it fine. Does he play around Hidden Power Fire, or is it an immediate spike? Does not play around it. HP Fire would have killed him there, but obviously didn't have it. And there's the spikes on the Cloister respectively. There's layer number 2 for Johnny. Does either player or both players have a Gengar potentially? Spikes and spin respectively. Johnny outplays Felix here. He now has the 2-0 spikes advantage. And that is not a Gengar. That is a Breloom as the spikes get reestablished, one layer anyway, for Felix. Breloom will be enough to scare out the Cloister. And there is the Spore. The sleeper is going to be Metagross. Will Breloom go for Focus Punch now? Yep. And there is a Gengar, unsurprisingly, for Felix. That is going to blank the Focus Punch. And it's going to be Milo reappearing here, stepping on a spike to do so. That's going to get hit with a sleep move as well. It's Hypnogar, the ever dangerous. Milo is not going to be happy to be hit by that, but I'm surprised that Swampert is going to come in here. What is that going to do against the sleeping Milotic? That is very surprising to me. I thought he would have tried to punish in some other way. The Earthquake here, pathetic. 18% against the Marvel Scale activated Milotic. That is going nowhere. Felix's team really seems to have an issue dealing with Milotic. Now, granted, the Meta and the Cloister both probably have Boom. The Gengar very well also may have Boom. But beyond exploding on it, which is far from guaranteed, you could explode on the resisting T-Tower or Fori accidentally instead. Beyond blowing up on it, the Milo seems pretty tough. Moltres certainly doesn't like Milo. Yes, it has HP Grass, but it doesn't do as much as you think. And there's also Blissey on the other side, so Moltres seems very unexciting in this matchup. Blissey and Milo are just going to wall that all day. Seems like a decent matchup for Johnnyg. Felix here has a team that I recognize from the linear team dump. I have this team in my builder as well. Solid squad, but like I said, I think Johnny's found himself a pretty good matchup here. Last poke unrevealed for Johnny. At first it was looking like maybe it was the undisputed double water spam until I saw the loom. And here is Salamence here, so it is definitely not that. It's an interesting Fori team here. Less do nothing, more proactive than the traditional Fori team for Johnnyg. But Felix is really driving the tempo here. He's playing this very aggressively. Fire Blast hitting Milo. And he's going to go for the HP Grass. No, he's going to go for Roar, actually. And he's going to drag out Bliss. I don't know that I love that because this is just going to lead to a free soft-boiled. Now, granted, he obviously could have roared out something other than Bliss, but that's not the way that it played out. Fori is a good thing to roar out. This is going to give him a free turn, maybe a free Will-O-Wisp, a free Roar. Maybe he just attacks here. Blissey gets dragged out, and it is going to be Fire Blast just in case Johnny got cute there, anticipating a Roar or something, and went for the Rapid Spin. But like I said, I think Moltres is really unexciting in this matchup between the Milo and the Bliss on the other side. Toxic is going to miss for Johnny, 2 layers each. Toxic connects now. We know that Johnny can't block Rapid Spin, so if Cloister has that, he can go for that here. Felix can block it, but Johnny cannot. And there is Fortress coming in, anticipating a boom that does not come. Instead, it's layer number 3 of Spikes. Now he's going to go for Surf. And now they both have 3 layers of spikes, and both of their spinners here, if they even have spin, Fori will, Cloister may or may not, but both spinners getting dangerously low here. Hidden Power, presumably Bug, is going to do very little to Gengar, only 12%. Hypno is going to make the Fori take a nap, and that is certainly going to neutralize it here. Now Milo comes in, having to step on 3 layers of spikes in order to do so. Thunderbolt, 51%. Insult to injury. There's a power there, but it doesn't matter. The Milo is going to be dead either way. Interesting that Cloyster comes in here. That just gives the Milo an opportunity to get a recover off that probably shouldn't have been allowed. I don't think I love that decision from Felix, but he's going to get away with it thanks to a full power, and he's going to get value out of his Cloyster that he maybe shouldn't have gotten. But like I said, full power kind of bailed him out there. So I'm not sure about that sequence for either guy. I also don't know that I like the Blissey here because the Cloyster is going to die and it enables Felix to set in either this off pert or the Metagross against the Blissey. So Blissey realistically was never going to get anything done here, and it is going to end up dying after getting a Toxic off on the Swampert. That's a good exchange for Felix. And now with the Milo and the Blissey gone, all of a sudden the Moltres is an issue. The Moltres should not have been an issue, but I don't think Johnny played this correctly. I think he didn't need to get his Blissey killed there, and I think he's going to get punished for it. I think Felix is in a good position now, up 5-4, and there is no good answer for the Moltres on the other side. The fire grass coverage hits 3 of the 4 pokes very hard, and then the 1 poke that doesn't get hit by the fire grass coverage, it still doesn't take the fire blast all that well, first of all, and it also doesn't like Will-O-Wisp. So I would say pretty comfortably Felix is in good shape here, and probably we're going to a game 3. Nevertheless, Johnny does catch up. There's a crunch. We've got ourselves a 4-4, but here's the real issue. What do you do now about Moltres? I think the answer is not much. He protects there because why not? But that does not solve the issue. Fire Blast and over prediction, maybe that's one way to do it. Run him out of Fire Blasts. He does have only 4 of those left. There are no pressure pokes on the other side, so he's going to get all 4 of those. He's going to Fire Blast again. Going to be down to only 3 of those on the other side. He's Fire Blasting there because he doesn't want to HP Grass into the Salamence. And it's Fire Blast again, so Fori, which was asleep, is down. That's going to free the Gengar up for Felix if he wants to go for Hypnosis again on something else. Salamence comes in. That's going to be outsped and immediately Will-O-Wisped. Dragon Claw is going to do a lot against the Moltres, but it won't kill even with the sand. And the faster Moltres gets to do what it wants here, and he switches out just to be safe. Blissey extremely safe now. Didn't care about the special attacks from Mence to begin with, and now he definitely doesn't care about the Brick Break, given the fact that that burn is present. It does only 20% there, and Blissey easily able to soft boil that damage off as the burn punishes the Salamence. There's Ice Beam. Blissey actually goes first there, so I think that was actually a roar coming from the Salamence, which is really interesting. But Bliss gets to do her thing first. Down that goes. Insult to injury. Sky Uppercut misses, and the Breloom dies as well. And we are certainly going to a third game here. That is the concession from Johnnyg. Felix takes this one fairly comfortably. Hey, game 3 works for me. It's been an interesting set. Granted, it's been a pretty hacksy set both ways. First game, it was Johnny getting the benefit. Second game, it was Felix. Maybe game 3 will be a little cleaner. But game 3 is for a spot in the finals against the yet-to-be-determined winner of the Mikmer versus Roro set. Very exciting. Game 3. Who's going to make it to the finals? Who's going to have a guaranteed place in the end of the year Pokemon Perfect ADV Championship? First or second place in any of our opens automatically gets a spot. So one of these guys, the winner of this game, will be in that tour no matter what. Who's it going to be? Let's find out together. One last time, Felix on the alt monthly girls on the bottom. That's going to be a switch from the lead meta into a Bliss. Johnnyg, who just lost to a Moltres, is going to opt to bring his own Moltres and lead with it in game 3. And we end up with Skarm coming in on a T-Wave. Bliss back to Tar. And Spike Slayer number 1 does come down. Fairly standard so far. Here's Vaporeon from Johnnyg. That's a poke that I know that he's a big fan of, more so than most people. He uses it on a variety of teams. But something else that stands out to me immediately for Johnny, and I mean it's exasperated here by this Thunder, but yeah, there's 3 electric weaknesses here. The Moltres, the Scar, and the Vaporeon, all electric weak. So there's got to be, yeah, something like a Claydol or a Swampert and probably Blissey for the 3rd time in a row. There she is, in fact. 3 Blisseys in the set for Johnnyg and 2 from Felix. So 5 out of 6 possible Blisseys in this set. Very popular in this match. There is aromatherapy to at least get rid of the Thunder Para on the Vaporeon. And fairly early on, 9 turns in, Johnny-G's full team is shown here as he goes to an unsurprising last Pokemon T-Tar here. Focus Punch coming down. That's going to connect neutrally with Meta. 35%, not bad. T-Tar is gaining lefties. Might be looking at some weird, like, old school Boa or new age Boa. It also could just be 4 physical attacks. Substitute coming down, immediately roared away, and there is Arrow. So a spikeless rock spam here for Felix. Very well maybe a bulky star with T-Wave. He might be see a T-Wave on the Blissey as well. So we might be going for para-flinch spam from Felix here, even though he doesn't appear to have spikes. That means that the Vaporeon is rather difficult, actually, because I think the Starmie is going to be T-Wave as well. I don't think it has Thunderbolt, and I think that makes the Vaporeon rather difficult for Felix's squad to take. Oh, man, that sucks, too. There's the Surf on the T-Tar. I think he was probably trying to either survive that or predict something other than a Surf and go for the Thunder that we already know that he has, but that did not work out. He's simply going to immediately lose his Tar, and Felix finds himself pretty far behind. Like I said, I think that Vaporeon is really difficult, actually, for him to deal with. The meta probably has Boom, but I really doubt that Johnnyg2 allows that. Once again, I don't think the Moltres is that exciting in this matchup. There is the Bliss on the other side, but overall, I think Johnny's in a pretty good place here. And like I said, we are looking at a bulky T-Wave star here. So it's double T-Wave, double Rock. So we're looking at some Paraflinch spam here, which is a good archetype. But I don't know that Felix is in a great position right now against Johnny. Skarm is going to come in, and there is the recover. Spikes are not going to be a huge issue because this bulky star, very reliable at removing them, and we know there's no ghost on the other side. Even if there were a Gengar on the other side, this Starmie can sometimes beat Gengar. It's kind of prediction-based, but so far, he's doing a good job of keeping the spikes not on the field. The spikes are not going to be the way that Johnny wins if he does win, but I'm having a hard time seeing how Felix wins as well. He's going to have to... The Skarm is an issue defensively. Like the Aerodactyl normally, if the Skarm weren't there, the Aerodactyl would be a nice win condition. If he makes good predictions, he could just plow through the team. Maybe he gets a flinch, maybe he gets a crit, whatever. But the Skarm is going to be an issue. I'm not sure how he breaks that. If he does go for Rock Slide, not only can Skarm take a couple of those, but the second he knows that it is Rock Slide, he could switch over to the Claydol, which is not a traditional arrow counter, because it gets hit pretty hard by Hidden Power, Flying or Bug, or Double Edge. But when you know that it's locked on Rock Slide, obviously the Claydol is a pretty decent switch. And there's Drill Peck from Skarm for lack of anything better to do. He's trading 32% for 20, but Skarm does have lefties through the sand, whereas obviously the Starmie, a Water Psychic type, does not. T-Wave and Drill Peck respectively. This Bliss we know has Heal Bell, so if it's really important to him to get rid of the para on the Skarm, which I don't think is that important, but if he cares about that, he has the option to Heal Bell that away. Of course, he doesn't want to get too loose with the Heal Bell PP. It does only have 8 to begin with, so he doesn't want to use those for dumb things like a para on a Skarm. Claydol coming in here. Not sure why. Maybe he thought a Thunder Wave was coming down. Maybe he thought it was a free switch. It is a Seismic Toss instead. And that's going to result in a double back to Cheetar, and that's going to result in Felix showing his last poke. Previously unrevealed Salamence. This actually might be triple Rock here. This might be... Well, he goes Brick Break, but it's not Bandit. He's gaining lefties. It might be DD Brick Break. So we might be looking at DD Rock Slide with the Salamence. Obviously, Aerodactyl's going to have Rock Slide, and then it's unclear what kind of T-Tower it is. I assume it's mixed. I don't know if it had Rock Slide, but this is either double or triple Rock. Rock move, that is, not Rock Poke, but double or triple Rock Slide with multiple para supporters for Felix, which is a cool archetype, like I said, but man, the Vaporeon looks difficult in this matchup. There is the Focus Punch connecting here. After the Intimidate and the Resistance, it does a cool 24%. Hidden Power, they're super effective. So I guess we're looking at mixed. Maybe it doesn't have Rock Slide. It's not going to be a DD-er anymore. So Mixed Vents has also been popular. These guys seem to have similar tastes. They brought Blissey multiple times. They brought Mixed Vents multiple times. We've seen Starmie multiple times. Now, granted, like I said, these guys are modern ADVers, so I think in a lot of ways that does reflect where ADV is just as an in general right now, which is certainly evolved since even like last Callus Invitational and continues to evolve, which is one of the reasons it's the best tier. But yeah, these guys seem to have relatively similar preferences. I feel like both of them have had fairly safe, fairly sturdy teams, and they seem to play the tier in a similar way. And it's been entertaining to watch for sure, no matter how this ends. Like I said, Johnny with the advantage right now, just the flat out 6-5 that he's had for a little while. He killed the T-Tower with the crit surf via the Vaporeon, but not a lot of progress since then. I'm having a hard time though envisioning how Felix actually wins. I think he can not lose for a good while, but I'm not clear on how he actually wins. It's going to require some amount of hacks. It's going to require a crit or just a timely something something in order for him to get over the edge. Johnny seems pretty sturdy here. Meteor Mash comes down, gets an attack raise. Surf 37%, so alright, maybe Meta can make something happen here. For example, a critical hit Earthquake could kill this here, or a critical hit Mash. 34% there, not bad. It's going to stick on the Moltres unless it has Morning Sun, so I mean, that's something. And there is the Protect for lefties. So minor progress here from Felix, getting a little chip on the Moltres. It all adds up. If he could do that another time or two, maybe he can kill the Moltres, get back in the game. We're not done here yet. Johnny with the advantage, but we are not done. Here's T-Tower coming in on the soft-boiled. Here's another opportunity. If Johnny can make a prediction here, he could do some big damage. He goes Focus Punch, and Felix calls that. Good play for him, staying in, having the balls to Seismic Toss there. He's going to disrupt the Focus Punch. Can he do it again? Focus Punch, and yeah, Felix twice in a row, not afraid of Johnny's T-Tar. Again, disrupts Focus Punch with Seismic Toss. Can he do it a third time? He switches this time, and he is correct. Felix, all 3 turns in a row, breaks it, and then calls the move. 3 turns of Felix outplaying Johnny there. Very nicely done. Meteor Mash does not find the attack raise he's looking for as Skarm reappears. Full para comes down, doesn't even get the layer of spikes up. Not that it would have mattered because the ever-reliable Starmie comes in. And now we end up with a Metagross on the Vaporeon. I think he was hoping to come in on the Bliss. This is not the matchup that he wanted, but nevertheless, Protect and Meteor Mash respectively. Meta is getting lefties back, so no harm, no foul. Here's Moltres, opportunity to chip it. Will succeed, gets him for 25% with a mash. Attack raise doesn't happen, but it would have been irrelevant because the Meta cannot and will not stay in here, and out of the way it goes. Will-O-Wisp is going to connect with Starmie here, getting it to exactly 50%, but out of the way that goes to the Meta. Very risky for Felix, but perhaps he realizes that he has to take risks in order to get himself back into this game. That Earthquake is underwhelming there, even with a crit that wouldn't have been anywhere near enough. And now he Meteor Mashes because he feels like he needs to find an attack raise, but he does not come on this first attempt. Vaporeon a little bit healthier here. Earthquake and Wish. Johnny playing safe with his Vaporeon as he should. Felix, I don't think, wants to do this for too much longer, and indeed he gets out of the way. There's the Starmie. It's going to be a free recover here, but unfortunately for Felix, Johnny's Vaporeon back up to 100%. Like I said, that poke seems difficult to remove other than the Thunder from the now dead T-Tar for Felix's team. Now he does land a T-Wave on it. That definitely matters. Maybe it gets full powered at a bad time and he takes advantage of it, but we also have to remember that there is the Heal Bell from Bliss, or Aromatherapy rather, that she's only used the 1 of. She's got 7 of those left if she decides that that para is worth removing, which I would say that it is, because I think the Vaporeon's pretty valuable for Johnny. Here's the Bliss switch, Bliss on Bliss, looking like another long one here. First game went over a hundo. We are now on turn 76 and counting with only 1 knockout in this pivotal match-deciding Game 3. And there is the immediate Aromatherapy from Bliss. Not surprised at all. I definitely don't think you want the Vaporeon to be paralyzed. I think the Skarm was also paralyzed, so you got rid of that too. But way more importantly is that the Vaporeon is not paralyzed. Over prediction rapid spin there from Felix, gets immediately roared out. Metagross also roared out. There's spikes, but the Starmie comes in religiously as the Skarm does its thing. Nothing preventing a rapid spin here, and there it is. Spikes are gone. Like I said, Spikes not a viable win condition for Johnny in this matchup because of the Starmie, but I think he can win in other ways. And Hayes now. Johnnyg settling in for what could be a longer game, preparing to play the PP game. If we're both going to sit here and do nothing, I will kill turns doing nothing, says Johnny. And looks like Felix is on the same boat. This could really drag out if they both commit to doing this. Rapid Spin and Haze, respectively. A whole lot of go nowhere for both players. Johnny takes the opportunity to get Scarman on a Rapid Spin. It will be a net gain, of course, of HP, thanks to the lefties. And now Vaporeon is going to come back in. We might be in for a slog here. Almost certainly going over a hundo as we did in Game 1. Does this come down to a PP situation? It very well may. Now, granted, again, the key thing is that the Vaporeon is paralyzed again, and Felix is going to have to take advantage of that, whether he goes for some para-flinch shenanigans with the arrow, or whether he tries to beat it with brute force with the meta. Whatever it is, he's going to have to try to get him through that para before Johnny gets the aromatherapy off. T-Tar comes in, predicts the meta with the Earthquake. That's bad. If Felix loses the meta, he is in big trouble. Will he allow that to stay in? Yeah, he's going to take the risk. He Meteor Mashes here. Good thing Johnny didn't stay in and go for EQ again. Meta at about half. He's at 49%. Back and forth with minor chips and minor opportunities, but neither player making meaningful progress here. Spikes again, immediately removed. Unsurprising, Felix is never letting those go anywhere. Meta comes in, takes the risk. Eating Surf there would not have been good, but he gets back into the green with lefties on a full para turn, and now he's going to protect and get even more lefties back up to 61%. It's going to be a free wish, however, for Johnny. Here's Arrow. It comes in on Moltres, which is fine and well, but all that chip damage that he managed to get on the Moltres completely undone. Moltres back up to 91% after being past the wish, and it's Protect Moltres, which is even worse. That means that we know the Arrow is stuck on Rock Slide. Johnny free switches to Claydol. It misses, which is insult to injury, but really how much would it have done to Claydol? It's starting to look pretty bleak, I think, for Felix. He can and should play it out. He makes a great double here to Arrow. This is a very good opportunity to make a prediction, do some damage. Right there, had he gotten a flinch or a crit with the Rock Slide, it would have made a huge difference, but that is not what happens. Through the para possibility, through the flinch possibility, Johnny instead gets a Surf off. Vaporeon with a very high base special attack stat. Going to be good enough to one-hit KO the Aerodactyl. And the second that happens, Felix concedes on the spot. This game goes only 102 turns. Had it played out, it would have been a bit longer. But Felix knows that he has almost no way to win. Like I said, the Vaporeon, very difficult for him to break. And the second the arrow went down, it was looking really, really grim. Gonna pack it in, and it's going to be Johnnyg winning the set in 3, an entertaining set, a sometimes hacksy set, and a relatively evenly matched set. Honestly, I could watch these guys play another best of 3. I really did enjoy this one. But it's going to be Johnny winning the day. He's going to be in the finals against, like I said, the undetermined, has not played yet, the winner of Mikmer and Roro. He's going to face that player in the finals. And no matter what happens, Johnny is going to be in the ADV Pokemon Perfect Championship at the end of the year by getting either first or second place, whatever it's going to be, in this Pokemon Perfect ADV Open, the first one of the year. One more time, I want to emphasize that there's going to be a link to the Pokemon Perfect Discord server in the description. You guys should absolutely get involved. We have tours all the time. We have even more tours than we did last year. They're going around the clock, around the calendar. Check it out. Get involved. Great opportunity to play old gens. Pokemon Perfect is the place to play old gens. And sometime next month being March, if you guys are watching this sometime after the time that I post it, we're going to be doing Pokemon Perfect League. Manager signups are at the end of the month. It's coming up pretty soon. That should be a good time that you should get involved with. Alrighty, that video went longer than I thought that it would. Like I said, it was kind of a lengthy best of 3. 2 of the games went over a hundo. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys for Mikmer and Roro whenever that occurs.